Well, that was bad. Avs lose to the St. Louis Blues 4-1 in Game 2 of Round 2 to even the series at 1.
Alex Newhook!
Oh boy.
Whoa!
Alright, let's get a few things out of the way. The Avs played poorly. They deserved to lose. St. Louis was the better team. All of those things are factual. This is the Stanley Cup playoffs. There are no freebies here. You have to earn it every step of the way. The Avs now have a loss in the playoffs. Congratulations. Now you're just like every other playoff team. Now you have to go out and earn it. I have two questions for you. Do you think the Avs can play better than they did in this game? If you didn't answer yes to that question, I don't know why you're still watching this video. Question 2. Do you think the Avs will play better than this next game? Now, I think there's probably some valid reasons to say no to that question, but this is my video, and my answer to that question is absolutely yes. We know they're capable of better. We've seen it a million times, and I believe they will play better. They are a team that has shown this year the ability to stay mentally tough, to rebound from losses, and honestly, play better hockey than they did in this game. This is probably one of their weakest games of the year outside of that stretch at the end of the season where they just weren't really trying, if we're being honest. And you absolutely have a right to be upset with this game as a fan. You deserve to see the Avs play better than that. The Avs, no doubt, expect themselves to play better than that. But it's a best-of-7 series, so losing one game, it's not the end of the world. Yep, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. The Blues were wholeheartedly the better team in the first period. There's absolutely no debate about that. The Avs are lucky to get out of that period as they tied 0-0. Lack of energy and just all-around sloppiness plagued the Avs. The lack of energy, particularly in the first period, they honestly just looked like they didn't come ready to play this hockey game. That would come and go throughout the entire game, but the sloppiness would never really leave. The Avs just didn't have it together and were not executing their plays all game long. And that happens to a certain extent. Some nights you just don't have it. That's fine, understandable. It is something you would like to see the Avs play through better and with more urgency, though. I don't think this was a team that acted overconfident or thought things would just go their way. I think this was kind of the opposite for them. This was a team that just nothing was clicking. They couldn't get anything to work for much of this game. Let me also get this out of the way now. We'll talk more about it later, but this game is not Darcy Kemper's fault. So the Avs get outshot pretty handily, 14-8 in the first period. Just 8 shots on goal for Colorado. Anytime they're under double digits, that's honestly a bad period for this hockey team. Funnily enough, the second period was a little bit better process-wise, but significantly worse on the scoreboard. At times in the second, it at least felt like the Avs were getting into the game, at least felt maybe on an even playing field. Not for the whole period, but in parts. In Game 1, we talked about the Avs getting unlucky and maybe the Blues getting a little bit of more luck than they deserved. In this game, the Blues got luck again, but I don't think there's any argument that they didn't deserve it. Again, they were the better team, they made their own luck. Honestly, I don't know what the Avs really do better on the first goal that gets scored against them. Perfectly standard stuff here. The Avs not even that aggressive on the forecheck, only 2 forwards in deep, so they come up 3-on-3, really 4-on-3 in the Avs' favor up the ice. This is nothing dangerous. And as Kyrou walks into the zone, he gets in maybe the top of the circles, but Sam Girard plays good D. He mirrors him very well. He gets his stick on the puck for this shot, and hockey's just a cruel mistress as it goes in. On the replay, you can actually see as he goes to shoot it, their sticks collide. The puck actually gets caught up on its edge and kind of knuckles through and right up into the corner. No way Kemper can read it. The majority of the problems I think the Avs faced in this game are problems that you need to be able to outscore, and the Avs only scored 1 goal in this hockey game. You just need better. And honestly, the second period was looking okay. If you get into the third period down 1, it's 1 bounce, it's 1 play that changes the entire hockey game. That wouldn't be that bad considering how poorly the Avs had played through 2 periods. But they run themselves into penalty trouble. Now, the Devon Toews is absolutely a penalty. It's one you just can't take. You cannot put your team in that situation, especially when you're trailing, not late, but beyond the halfway mark in a playoff game. Just can't do it. Needs to be better. And then you have the Valencian goalie interference. I don't know where you fall on this one. To me, it's super borderline. It could have gone either way. It could have been interference, could have been a no call. I think based on other contacts we've seen with goaltenders in the playoffs, I probably lean towards no call, but that's not the way it went. The call gets made, and it's a 5-on-3. Yeah, Avs put themselves in a bad situation. Yeah, maybe they didn't get the best luck from the refs there, but ultimately, special teams is not the problem here. At the end of this game, the special teams battle was 1 goal for St. Louis, 1 goal for Colorado. No, this game was lost at 5-on-5. That's where the Avs need to be better. And of course, St. Louis's special teams goal comes on the 5-on-3. This is pretty routine stuff. The problem here is don't put yourself on a 5-on-3. This puck comes over to Perron, who one-times it, and it really looks like Kemper was in a good position. And initially, you probably want a save from Kemper here until you see the replay, or maybe you can tell from Josh Manson's reaction. Again, this is quality D from Colorado that just doesn't get rewarded. Perron lets the one-timer go, Manson getting himself in the lane, and it just goes off of his stick and directly towards the net. Yeah, you could maybe make the argument you want to let your goaltender make the play there, just get out of the way, but still, pretty unfortunate bounce for the Avs. Another good bounce for St. Louis, but again, they earned it, or if you want to say the Avs earned some bad luck by putting themselves on a 5-on-3, fair. However you want to go through that, whatever makes it work for your mind. So most of the Avs' problems in this game were caused by themselves, and I don't want to discredit the Blues. They did a good job of capitalizing on the opportunities that they were given, which is good, but it was not great. I don't think the Blues played an elite hockey game. I just think the Avs played very poorly. Down 2 going into the third, look, expectations are pretty low at that point. And I will say the first 10-ish minutes of the third period was the best stretch of the game for the Avs. Still were sloppy, but the energy was there. They were up. They were pushing. They were forcing St. Louis into errors. It looked a lot like Game 1 at times. And that's what should give you confidence. You know the Avs have it in them. They showed it in this game. They've showed it in past games. You know they can play so much better than they did. Even when they're not executing, they can play so much better than they did for 50 minutes of this hockey game. The Avs eventually get a power play of their own for working hard. Wouldn't you know it? It's funny how that works. And they convert theirs. Avs turn on the power play. Makar's just going to get a shot in deep. The initial chance doesn't work, so they go back into their umbrella standard stuff, but they work it down in deep on this opportunity. Who'da thunk working it in deep, doing some of the dirty work works in a game where you guys aren't playing very well when it comes to your skill and execution level. From the half wall back down in deep, the initial attempt is to Kadri here. Kadri's absolutely trying to shoot this. It doesn't work, but it does kind of redirect right to Landy. Bang, bang. Extremely quick play. It's already in the back of the net. You just get to the good areas and you make something happen. So it's a 1-goal game with 18 minutes left in the third. This is the stuff you love. This is the stuff you live for. Close game, third period, playoffs, you're loving it. Just absolutely fun hockey. The stuff you dream about as a kid. It's excitement back and forth. Every play could be the one that alters the game because maybe the next goal doesn't win the game, but it certainly completely changes the landscape of it. And what had been a little bit of a sludgy game, it also started to open up. There were chances going back and forth. The Avs getting opportunities, finally starting to see a little bit of a click here and there. And then with them pressing as the team that was down, St. Louis would get opportunities the other way. You know, it's funny because everything just kind of seemed to fall into the wrong place for the Avs in this game. If this effort came out from minute 1, the game probably looks totally different. The Avs don't have to press quite as hard to try and get themselves back into the game. It's a more effective, less risky time to do it. Instead, they're pressing down 1 with clock ticking in the third period. You're getting down to 15, 13, 12, 10 minutes. And eventually, the Avs make one big mistake and pay the big price. An ozone faceoff probably should have been a clean win back to Makar for the Avs here, but instead they get a little cute along the boards. They get a little bit messy. Berkey and Makar have a miscommunication. The puck does not work here. I don't know what the plan was. It looked like probably a handoff to Makar down the wall, but just extreme poor execution like the entire rest of the game. This time, though, it leads to a 2-on-1 against Colorado. Taves does a great job of taking the pass away here. He sits in the passing lane very, very well and just says, Darcy, take the shooter. Perron just beats Darcy. Darcy even gets a significant amount of glove on it, but he cannot stop the puck. That was it. You need a better read from Cale Makar or a better play, and you would really like that save out of Darcy Kemper. You just needed that one, because without it, the game is pretty much over. Look, I get it. It's a 2-on-1. I'm not saying it's an easy save. I'm saying it's one the Avs needed, and Darcy couldn't give it to him, especially when it hits him on the glove. That hurts. The game was essentially over there. You kind of went through the motions of the last couple of minutes with the Avs being down 2, but never really mustered too many quality opportunities. And ultimately, the empty netter when the Avs pull super early makes it 4-1 for your final. The Avs got outplayed. The Avs did a lot of problem causing to themselves, and the Blues capitalized on the opportunities where the Avs failed to do so, particularly at 5-on-5. Does this mean the Blues are the better team? No. It means they were the better team in this hockey game, though. But there's a reason you play a 7-game series. The Avs were bound to lose a playoff game eventually. I'd bet you a large sum of money they will lose more playoff games. But I still think they're the better team. I still think they're going to win the series, and I think you're going to see a much better Avalanche team in Game 3. So am I disappointed? Maybe a little bit frustrated? Yes. Am I concerned about the Avs going forward? No. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and you're in it now. This is the real playoff feel.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends.